here. Thanks so much for joining me. Welcome. I'm super excited to spend this time with you today. This is a training, kind of like, we're calling it a webinar, but it's like an online workshop. That's the best way I'm going to describe it. Because as I was prepping for today, I realized that, the classic term webinar is where you use slides and all this stuff. And guess what? I've had this realization. I don't like slides. It's not my thing. Some people are amazing with their slides and they like to be a PowerPoint experts, and I simply do not. I like to talk to you. I like to share ideas and ensure that you're taking notes. So I'm going to invite you to make sure you have a notebook or some place where you can jot down notes. I'm going to be giving you a lot of value during our time together today, and I want to make sure that you capture these nuggets so that you can apply them to your coaching business and touch the lives that you're here to touch. So this is a training on how to attract ideal coaching clients, even if you're not tech savvy. I am so thrilled to have this time with you because this is really the rally cry for new and aspiring coaches to get out there and do the work that you're put on this planet to do. So you should be able to see me right now, hear me. Darcy, who's my operations manager on the team, she is in the chat feature, which is underneath this video. I kind of have this multi-screen situation going on in my office, so you'll see me looking like here and there because I've got this other little screen over here where I can look at your comments. So if you have any questions or any issues with the tech, just let Darcy know. Her handle is Your Savvy VA, and she can definitely help you. And if you're watching live, let us know where you're connecting in from. Like, where are you today? I want to know. I am in the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts. This is where I live, and I love it here. I have had a wonderful morning, and I'm curious where you all are connecting in from for our kind of virtual powwow today. Being a coach has just revolutionized the way I show up in the world, the way I interact with people, the way I listen, how I can serve, and how I can parent and be married, and all of these things, like all of these labels, how I daughter and how I friend and how I everything. It is a huge personal growth path. So whether you are coaching right now or you are thinking about becoming a coach, know that this will be the ride of your life for sure, and you can handle it. You can handle it if you're willing to consistently do the inner work. And so that's the question for you. Are you willing to consistently do the inner work? Are you willing to put sacred self-care as your foundation, above clients, above family, above everything else? Like sacred self-care, that has got to be your foundation, because you're going to have so much coming at you and you putting it back out. It's all going to be flowing through, and you have to ensure that you've got this really, really solid foundation from which to grow. And so you can touch those lives. You help your people, whoever your people are. So this particular training, and I've done a few over the last few weeks. If you've missed any of them, you should have received an email with a link, so you can go back and watch the replays of those trainings. We've gone into several different areas that you really need to become great at as you grow your coaching work in the world. Today, we're looking at how do you attract those clients. Yes, you have this gift. Yes, you are an amazing motivator, and you know how to ask really important questions and empowering questions of your clients, but like, how do you even find them? Right? Like, you can't do the work if you don't have the people to actually do the work with. So we're going to be looking at that today, okay? And there's so much tech that's going on right now, technology with all the social media sites, websites, everything that's online. Right now we're connecting through technology, right? Through the internet. We're not actually sitting in a real room together. What if you're not the most tech savvy person in the world? Can you grow a coaching business? That's what we're going to be exploring today, is how you do this, how you leverage every little option that you have, and you can pick and choose and decide what works for you, not what works for this person over here because she's just rocking it and she's growing and it's exploding and you're like, well, I must need to do it that way because that's how she or he is doing it, and if it works for them it must work for me. It's not, that's not the way that I've experienced this path. It is a very, very personal experience. And you must be willing to experiment. You must be willing to try things and, fall on your face sometimes, often. Get up, dust yourself off, talk about it, be vulnerable, be courageous, put yourself into new situations, new rooms, and let people know what you're all about and who you love to help. This is about being gutsy. And I will also tell you towards the end of this workshop today how you can get trained by me. I'll take you under my wing and take you through this process to become this amazing, masterful coach. I have this fantastic coach training school that I'll tell you more about. We have some great students. We're going to be getting started in a few days. And if you are ready to really get that support and structure and guidance and ongoing community that you really need in order to have this be a sustainable operation, then I think you're going to like what I have to share. So this time is all for you. I know you've probably got a lot of things coming at you right now, different responsibilities, obligations, commitments, crunch projects, deadlines. I know I do. Let's just clear the decks and be here. Be present right here in this space. This is about you getting what you need, not trying to figure it out all by yourself, not trying to fake your way through this whole coaching landscape, but actually having skills and tools, okay? So that you can do this with authenticity, with integrity, with wisdom, with practice. Yeah? Okay, perfect. So I want to walk you through, or guide the group through, a guided visualization. If you've never done visualization before, you're in for a treat. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Yeah, before I trained to become a coach, I trained to become a yoga teacher. That was my first kind of entry into this world of being self-employed, okay? Extricated myself from corporate America, and here I am. Here I am. It's been quite a road. So I leverage a lot of the tools that I discovered and fine-tuned during my yoga teacher training days, and then through my decade plus of being a yoga student, for your benefit. And one is guided visualization. And I want to say that you all are coming into this experience with so many of your own experiences, so many tools, so many stories. Use them. Use them for the benefit of your people. You may not have been officially coaching for that long or ever, but you have a wealth of experience and knowledge that you're going to bring to the table for your people, okay? So I invite you now to trust that you are safe and you're being led and you are contained. And you can close your eyes as long as you're not driving, or it would be hurt if you were closing your eyes. You can close your eyes and simply come inward. Come inward into your body, simply focusing on your breath, focusing on this life force energy that is connecting you and me and the other beautiful souls who are with us. Focusing on this knowledge that you have something extraordinary to share with the world. That you are here to heal your tribe in the way that you and only you can. I invite you now to drop into the energy of your most ideal day. Drop into this energy of you custom designing the most ideal day. And this is not a vacation day necessarily. This is a day where you are working, you're serving in your distinct way. Visualize and see in your mind's eye what time you wake up in the morning. Who's in the bed with you, if anyone or anything? The first thing you do when you get out of bed, the first thought that you have. Where you have breakfast and what you eat. What you do for your morning. Are you writing? Are you coaching? Are you exercising, practicing yoga, dropping your children off at school? What are you doing with your morning? How are you designing this ideal day that you're like, oh, thank you? Are you walking? Are you running? Are you painting? How do you shift into your afternoon and lunch? Where are you? Are you in your own personal space, your own office? Do you work elsewhere? Who are you talking to? Who are you working with? Who are your clients? Who are your customers? Who are your students? What kinds of conversations are you having? What kind of challenges does your brain solve? What kind of impact are you making? Sit in that impact, feel that impact. And as you move through your workday and move into dinner time, who do you dine with? What do you talk about? What do you eat? What does your evening look like, feel like? What does your social media presence look like and feel like? How are you spending your time? How are you serving? How are you working? How are you loving? How are you playing? And what are your thoughts as you put your head on your pillow this evening? What are you grateful for having experienced, having in your life? This is your ideal day. This is the day that you get to create. This is the day. When you feel ready, you may slowly open your eyes, bring yourself back into this space. Come back into this room, and let's dive in and talk about how you can find ideal clients so that you can be this coach, you can serve your people, you can make a difference and make an impact. Okay? I will tell you that that ideal day exercise is really powerful, and those are things that you can do with your own clients as you're guiding them through either private coaching or group coaching, workshops, retreats. That visualization technique is super, super powerful, and it's something that I use to get clear about what I wanted to do with my life. As I was moving out of my corporate life as a public relations executive turned conference producer, turned yoga teacher, turned coach. I left a six-figure corporate life to go to zero, back to ground zero, basically. Taking all those experiences with me, but essentially starting over. I wanted to figure out what I was truly meant to do here when I stripped away all this other stuff. When I wasn't driven by money, when I wasn't driven by these labels that I had outgrown. And eventually I discovered coaching. And if you are just discovering coaching now, if you are just discovering that, hey, I've been thinking about this for a long time and I'm ready to dive in, then I say congratulations and welcome. It is, as I mentioned earlier, one of the most intense personal growth paths you can walk, but it will lead you to some extraordinary places, and you will grow beyond the beyond. You will learn things about yourself that you simply never knew, and you will touch lives. You will change people's lives. You will get notes in the mail, by email, on social media from your people thanking you for your work, thanking you for changing their life, thanking you for showing them what is possible. And you will be able to design this around your family's needs and schedule, if that is the camp that you're in. That's certainly where I am. I have 3 children. They're 6, 4, and 1, and this is a non-negotiable in my world. I mean, it has to be like this right now. You know, I'm in the thick of it. I'm in the thick of it. Check back in with me in 20 years when they are mostly out of the house and doing other things, and my life will probably look a bit different than it does now. So wherever you are, just know that you can design this business to work for you, but it is a conscious design process. All right. So when you opted in for this training, you should have received from me a report. I put together like an ebook report dealio called The Making of a Coach, and it walked you through my journey through coaching, what I experienced, how this looked, how this felt since 2008 when I set out on this path. So hopefully you've read that. If you haven't, read it. It will really give you a sense of my own personal journey. Yours is going to look different, but it's always helpful to hear from somebody else what they experienced. That's always been my preference. Like, I just want to know someone's story, so then I know what to expect, like the highs and the lows and everything in between. Okay, so now's the time in our workshop that you are going to want to be taking some notes. Let's dive into finding clients. This is something that you deal with for a good part of your journey, especially as your business evolves, and it will evolve. Finding clients, okay? You have this great gift, and where are these people that you can share your gift with? Okay, I'm gonna go through various ideas here and just take some notes. If there's certain ones that really resonate with you, put a star around them, circle it, whatever, because you don't have to do every single one of these things, but you do want to be doing a number of them, okay? It's not going to be just one technique that gets you over the edge. And as you evolve in your business, you may layer in something new and let something else fall away. It's simply an evolution, and entrepreneurship really is, it's a very intense road, and in a beautiful way. You will stretch and grow. I was just having a meeting with a longtime friend of mine who's also an entrepreneur. She owns a yoga studio in my area, and we were talking about that, just like the stretching and the pulling and the growing. And, if you're not open to that, then entrepreneurship probably isn't the best place for you. And not everyone is cut out to do this, okay? So finding clients. Well, yes, online is great. We're going to get to that in a few, but let's just talk about the concept of talking to people in real life. Like, as you are building this, if you're building your coaching business, you are going to be talking to people wherever you go. And like listening, the art of coaching is listening. It's listening. So you are talking to people wherever you go about what it is that you're working on and what you're passionate about. When I was first getting started as a coach, I was so excited. I was in my training and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And I would be I was living in New York City at the time. I'd be on the subway. I would be at a friend's birthday party. I would be, before yoga class, and just like, oh, this is staying in it. And I was just like sharing. I was so excited. And that is how I got my first few clients, just like that. And I did get business cards printed pretty much right away as I was setting out on this path. I just did it. I wanted to be able to give these babies out. I didn't have a website at that point. I just had my email address and my phone number. And I would give those business cards out to people who had expressed interest. They would get in touch, or I would get in touch with them, and we would just make it happen. I then would do, a discovery call, And then from there, offer up one of my packages, which we talked about on a previous training, okay? Packages and sessions and all of that. So that's how it went for me. That's very much how I built my business. This was, again, back in 2008. It wasn't until mid-2009 that I got my first website. So I was just doing it through word of mouth and getting on the trusty telephone to build that baby, okay? And I do want to mention, as I was building my business, I was freelancing as a conference producer. In my, quote, former life, I was freelancing to bring in that regular income so that I wasn't putting so much pressure on this coaching work to be instantly supporting me from day one. Like, that just wasn't going to work for me. I don't know many people who that would work for. That would be the extreme exception to the rule. You've got to figure out how to bring in revenue that's not necessarily straight up tied to coaching immediately, okay? That time will come. So you're going to be talking to people in real life. You're going to be telling everyone what you're up to in a very excited way, because you are going to be excited. If this is the work that you came here to do, you're excited, okay? If you go into a yoga class, you belong to a gym, you have kids and you're at their school, you're a part of the parents association, or you're on vacation, or maybe you have a day job, or you're part of some like networking group or what have you, you are simply showing up and you are sharing your expertise, you're sharing this knowledge, you're sharing this love, and you're aiming to serve. That is what you're doing. It's very, very simple. Very, very simple. So do that. Just start doing that. That is how you're finding clients. And I want you to remember that the work is the way. The work is the way. That's it. You're doing the work. You're so in love with the work, and it's going to open up people coming into your path, new opportunities coming into your life, clients falling in your lap. Truly. It's going to blow you away. It's going to freak you out because you're going to realize you're going to have to put yourself out there maybe more than you ever have before, especially if you're newer to business ownership and entrepreneurship. But when you have the opportunity to really join forces with somebody, you'll be so grateful, and you'll just be thanking the universe and thanking this person for coming into your life and saying yes to investing in themselves through what you have to offer, okay? The next idea here is social media, okay? If you're not already on social media, I mean, I don't know who's not on social media anymore, except maybe some of our parents. My mom kind of refuses to be on Facebook. My dad is on there, but he masquerades as my stepmom. He doesn't have his own name. But when you are a coach, you have to be on social media. You just have to. And you don't have to be on every single platform. I'm not. But you need to have at least one that you really have a presence there and you're really rocking it out there. In my case, it's Facebook. You know, Facebook is this amazing platform. I have a personal page there. I have a business page. I have a few Facebook groups for courses and programs that I have out in the world. And that's something that you can do as well. You can have the personal page, the business page. Facebook groups have been growing in popularity. I know a lot of coaches who that's how they get a bulk of their businesses. They run these Facebook groups, and they're free groups to join, and they have kind of rules the way they run the groups and how they serve and how they're kind of providing this beautiful space for connection. So you certainly can do that, and you're basically demonstrating your leadership capabilities. And then from there, people are seeing you as like, ooh, look at her. Like I really like her energy. I like what she's all about, okay? No matter how you're showing up in the social media landscape, I want you to remember this mantra: share versus sell. Share versus sell. So you're sharing, not selling, okay? And this is pretty huge. This is like a big shift from maybe how it was in the past, or maybe it's somewhat of a backlash because there's been some selling going on. Now, certainly if you're running a Facebook ad, you know, that's like a different dynamic. I do a number of Facebook ads myself, but still the context is sharing versus selling. You're sharing something that you've learned. You're sharing your wisdom. You're sharing these tips. You're sharing these ideas. You're sharing your story. So I want you to remember that energy: share versus sell. Okay, let's a total writer downer. Get that down. Leverage LinkedIn. Depending on who your audience is. I mean, I leverage LinkedIn in my business. LinkedIn has a new tool where you can actually like publish to the LinkedIn platform. So if you were writing blog posts, you can take that blog post and publish it to LinkedIn as well. And it will, all of your LinkedIn connections will be alerted to the fact that you have published a post on LinkedIn. And that post could be just showing them like, oh, wow, look what she's talking about. Look what she's doing. Okay, so these platforms are they're just all ways for you to get your message out there in a larger context. Okay, you can be using Twitter. If Twitter is your spot, then use Twitter. And Twitter is the place for hashtags and retweeting, and that's like an entirely different galaxy than Facebook. I do a very minuscule amount of connection on Twitter. It's not my platform of choice. But for many people, it is. So you've got to just know like where you shine, and you can, again, have more than one platform, but use it. Instagram is another one where it can be really, really powerful for you. Instagram is all about photos. And so are you very visual with the type of coaching that you do? Do you want to be a brand coach? Do you want to be, a life coach? Like what kind of coach do you want to be? And then the photos that you're putting up there could be stuff from your life, but you could get really cool graphics created. You can create them on a platform called Canva, which is free to use, and you can be putting them up there on Instagram, just kind of spreading your message that way. All right. Periscope, that's another platform that is really taking off right now. If you're not on Periscope yet, I encourage you to get there. It's like a video streaming technology, and I'm on there right now. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy being able to connect with my people on Periscope. So if you're not yet on Periscope, try it. And you're basically you're just speaking. You could be teaching on certain things. Again, depending on what kind of coach you are or want to become, like those are the kinds of topics that you Periscope on. Okay? I have a friend who's like a speaker coach, and she Periscopes a lot about speaking topics. I have a friend who is a writing coach, and a lot of her talks are on writing, nailing your message, being a storyteller. You're essentially getting this platform that you're creating. You're getting it off the ground. You're giving it life. You're giving it energy. You're giving it legs. And Periscope is a fantastic way for you to connect with your people in real time. The people who are watching your Periscopes can talk back with you, just through message. They're not actually like verbally saying things to you. You're verbally saying things to them. They're hearing you, and they can be sending notes to you on the platform. People who are also watching at that time can see the comments. They can be sending hearts to you. It's pretty interesting. And if you're doing that to find clients, you could then just share during the Periscope, hey, you can stay connected to me, or I'm offering discovery sessions. You can go to, your website to apply for a discovery session, or they can download this free tool that you created to help solve the problem that they have. You always think about like, what's the way you can extend that message after that particular container has come to an end? Like after the Periscope ends, what do you want people to do? All right. So Periscope, that's another way for you to find clients. And you don't have to be super tech savvy to use Periscope. You don't. You just get the app on your phone and you push broadcast. And you play, and you have to be willing to experiment and get freaked out. And you're like, what's going on? What am I doing here? Okay, all of it. The other area I want to talk to you about in terms of finding clients is events. Okay, live events. Let's talk about live events. Attending live events, hosting live events, sponsoring live events. Yes, the internet's amazing, and we can have all these like online connections, but nothing will take the place of like a live experience. There's something magical about that. And I've really grown my business based on live events, attending and hosting. That's been a big piece of it. It's a lot of work. It's more work to put it on than to simply attend, but it takes effort to attend as well, because there might be travel expense involved, right? But when you're in a space with somebody and when they really feel your energy and they're like, oh my gosh, I need to hire you, I want your help with that, then that is where real magic occurs. All right, my live event that I had last year, which was called Alchemy Live, I'm hosting it again in a few weeks here in the Berkshires. So many deals were done at that event. You know, clients were secured, partnerships were developed, friendships were, you know, the seed was planted on a friendship, $1 million ideas were downloaded. I mean, it was extraordinary to watch what had occurred. I saw huge movements made, people realizing like, oh my gosh, this is my next big thing. This is what I'm going to get out and do. Okay. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I am hosting Alchemy Live in a few weeks. If you want to check that out, I'd love to meet you there, thealchemyevent.com. You can go check that out. You will change as a result of being at events and then hosting your own. And that is it's a pretty big undertaking, but it doesn't have to be complicated hosting events. Like you could host an evening workshop in your community, someplace like at your local women's center, at a yoga studio, at a business networking space, like you name it, it's possible. It simply takes you making that decision and putting yourself out there, okay? Another way to find clients are simply, you know, networking opportunities. Are there built-in like meetup groups or Chamber of Commerce or Rotary Club or, you know, just different opportunities like women's groups where you can simply go and connect and share with people what you do and how you can help them. Are you willing to do that? Because your clients are there. And you can certainly be networking online. It doesn't have to be simply in person. You know, Facebook groups are a great spot for networking. And again, you're there to share and to serve, not to sell, but to share your wisdom and your insight and your energy. Yeah? And then you'll watch what happens. People will come to you. They'll be attracted to who you are and what you put out into the world. It's really amazing. LinkedIn also has a lot of groups on there. You can see if you can join some LinkedIn groups or start your own and start conversations in there. Another area that I want to talk to you about is content creation, okay? Content creation. This has become more and more important over the last several years. You taking this stuff that you know, okay, these steps, this system, this process, and putting it into different formats. Formats like reports, cheat sheets, blog posts, podcasts, calls, webinars, videos, workshops, in person and online. I'm gonna actually show you an example. Let me pull it out of my space here. Let's see, I've got like two different examples that I'm going to show you. Okay. All right. And these are just, you know, simple. These did not take me that much time. But these, basically, what I'm getting at is you're going to be finding clients because you're going to be serving. You're going to be putting out high value information and pieces of wisdom. And one of the ways you do that is through this content. And your people are going to opt in to get into your universe, into your world. They're going to get on your list, all right? And say, yes, I want to hear from this person. It may take several months for someone to become a client, and in some cases, years. That's why you've got to be, you know, creating this beautiful business, the foundation of getting people into your virtual door, nurturing them, saying, oh, I'm so glad to have you here. Welcome to the community where, you know, we support women and fulfilling their greatest potential. You're finding your calling and cashing in on it through your business. And that's really what my work is all about. So here's one tool that we created. This one we had laminated and we gave it to some of our mastermind clients. And it's called your Sacred Marketing Puzzle. And it really breaks down the different tools that are available to you as you're growing your work, your body of work in the world, okay? And if you go to jennyfennig.com/puzzle, you can get this if you don't have this already, all right? And so it's simply going to these different elements that you can use, all right, to get your work out there. It's kind of what we're talking about right now. I have things here around freebies and networking and associations and articles and videos and audios and speaking. Okay, that's like the events thing that we talked about. You could be speaking. Speaking is a very, very powerful strategy. Social media, events and trainings, all this stuff. So this is a freebie. This is a piece of content that I've created to give to my people. So they had a little map to follow as they were finding clients, finding students. In my case, like I have clients, but I also have students. Like I honestly have more students right now than I do, clients. Clients are people who tend to work with me very closely, like one-on-one. And, I love that. I've got, a pretty small amount of space for that in my life right now, because I've built out different courses and offerings so I can have students. I can serve students. That gives me a lot of pleasure. Okay. So here's another tool that we created. And this is, again, content. I want to talk to you about content creation. This is huge. This will be a game changer for you. This one is called 8 Keys to Living Your Soul's Calling. And if you've read my book, Get Gutsy, you'll recognize these keys because these are the chapters of my book, Get Gutsy. And I basically just took this content and sliced and diced it in a different way. And here you are, 8 Keys to Living Your Soul's Calling. And we offer this to our people at jennyfenig.com/calling. So if you can grab this, totally, like you can go get it, enjoy it. So you can create things like this. The writing of the book was a very, very long process. But when I actually sat down to create these little pieces of content, it doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long. And you've got to be willing to put your stuff out there, to really, really put yourself out there and put your stuff out there. And know that it will be a journey and a process for you. I am running a course right now called Tribe Building Bootcamp. And one of our students was just saying in there, like, I've been at this for 4 months. I love the work, but I'm getting very frustrated because I think she has one client right now and she wants it to grow. And she's just like, I don't have much to show for this. And I'm getting frustrated. We just started the Tribe Building Bootcamp course like a week ago, I believe, maybe 2 weeks ago. And there's some of the fellow students in there were giving her some, cheerleading and some insight and some wisdom. And my message for her and for you, I don't know how long you've been on this path, but it does take time. There's a very successful guy out there doing some pretty maverick work, and his business has it's really grown quite significantly. And he talks about, for the first like 12 to maybe 18 months of his business, like there wasn't any money coming in the door. I mean, he was essentially putting out high value pieces of content, growing his list, putting value out into the world and letting people know that he's there to serve them and to teach and to really understand what their challenges were, what their issues were. Okay. And I'm sure he had to have money from other sources, like he was doing other work that was paying him, or he had savings or something. But to think that your work is going to instantly pay off for you, even though 4 months when you're in it might feel like a long time, you're going to be disappointed because it can take longer than that. It just can. So the idea, if you're newer into this process, I want you to think about putting your stuff out into the world, not thinking that it has to like generate you a client the day that you push publish, the day that you like put this little page up, but that it's going to be doing it over a period of time. You're building this body of work and you're letting people know what your expertise is and how you can serve. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Yeah. And guess what? You all are so lucky. This did not exist when I was first starting out. They didn't have all these like simple website designs. Like if we wanted a website, we had to like straight up pay to get a website created. My first ever website, I literally was going to create it myself. I was going to create a WordPress website by myself. I got a book on how to create a WordPress website and I was like totally going to do it. And then I luckily came to the realization of like, what? Am I crazy? I can't do that. I actually want it to look good and I'm not a web designer. So Now you have an amazing tool. There's all these like one-page website design tools that are available to you, like a tool called Lead Pages, which I recommend for a lot of my students and clients, where you can have a beautiful, what's called like an opt-in page, or even just like a simple little web page that tells people what you're all about. And you literally can do it yourself, because they have templates that you can choose from to create these things, which is super awesome. I'm so happy for you that you have this. And these are all, everything that I've covered so far, I want you to know that yes, you should be taking notes, because this is really good stuff. It's taking me like my career to figure this stuff out. And we are going to be going deeper into all these concepts, and I'll really be holding your hand throughout Get Gutsy Coach Training School, which is my coach training school. There's an optional certification element to Get Gutsy Coach Training School. So if it's something that you feel, oh my gosh, I want to be in this contained structure and a real school, you have that option. And I'll tell you how you can get more information on that and apply if you feel called. So let's talk now about making money as a coach. I talked to you about, finding clients. Obviously, clients help you make money, and I gave you different ways to find those clients, put yourself in those situations where you're going to connect with these people, connect with these prospects. Now I want to just go through some ideas on how you can make money as a coach, okay? And some of them we've already touched on, but you can simply have a list and check these things off as you're experimenting yourself and be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. I want to try that. I want to put myself out there for that. Every single one of these that I'm going through requires you being vulnerable, requires you being gutsy, making a move. You got it? Okay, good. So one-on-one coaching, that's typically how you get started out of the gate. Like, I'm going to provide one-on-one coaching. I'm going to, you're going to connect with the client over like multiple months. That's like the best case scenario. Like, you could have like a 3-month coaching package that you and your client commit, and you're off to the races together. And that's how I got my business off the ground. 3-month coaching packages, and I had a number of clients who came into the door, and it was extraordinary, and we did amazing work, okay? So you can be doing that, one-to-one coaching. You can host retreats, okay? Weekend retreats. Maybe it's some exotic destination. Maybe it's just some beautiful resort spa. I've done those before. I've done it at like Buddhist retreat centers. I mean, I've run the gamut on the different spots where I've held my retreats, but it's really extraordinary. You can host VIP days where a client could spend many hours with you, or perhaps an entire day, and you can really map out the thing that you're working on together. And those are very powerful. They can be quite lucrative because they're typically priced at a premium. And you get so much done in that period of time. You get more done in a VIP day than you could if you spent, months working together. It's just, it's because you have that like focused time with each other, okay? Group programs. Group programs are very powerful. It's like a group coaching program. You have, a few people who are going through it at one time, and you're bringing them through. And you can have like training and curriculum, and you can have group coaching calls, and you could have an online forum, perhaps on Facebook, where you all are connecting, okay? I really took my business to another level through a group program / kind of mastermind program that I introduced several years back. And those have grown and evolved for me, and I really enjoy them. I enjoy them quite a bit. And you can do your group programs in person. You could also do them virtually. I do the bulk of mine virtually. Although I have to say, when I was starting my business, one of the ways it got off the ground was I was running moms groups in Manhattan. I was living in New York City at the time. I had just become a new mom, and I was leading new mom support groups. I then moved into working mom support groups, and then entrepreneur mom support groups. It was really exciting. And that led to clients coming out of that. And it was just so exciting for me, because I was getting out there, and I was serving, and I was having a great time. And I really enjoyed being there with those women. All right, so think about, again, how you're called to serve, how you want to shape this, and it will evolve as you evolve. Okay, so how you do it right now, it's probably going to look different next year, 5 years from now. Speaking, as I mentioned, you can totally make money through speaking. You know, some people will straight up hire you for a speaking engagement, and or you can speak and then offer something, you know, from the stage. You can say, you know, if you want to go deeper with me, I've got a program on this, or you can sign up, I have a VIP day, or I've got an event coming up that you might want to come to. So speaking is a fantastic way to connect with an audience. You know, they're there, you're really feeling each other's energy, they're seeing how you can serve them. It's really quite powerful. E-courses are amazing, okay? Digital courses, online courses, however you want to call them, where you are taking your information, you've got a community that is hungry for it, and then you are selling it to them online, okay? And the price point varies from, you know, $50 up to $2,000 or more. I mean, there's a big range. I don't recommend like getting started with an e-course straight out of the gate and trying to market it all by yourself and set it up all by yourself. You want to be building up a list and a following and just putting out your information, your wisdom, and getting people to kind of come into your world, okay? But it's an awesome experience for you to have and to give to your students, because they can then consume your wisdom in bite-sized nuggets and get that transformation that you provide in that particular way. I do love online courses. They're quite spectacular. Okay, membership programs are also cool, where you could have somebody who regularly is, is some kind of membership program that you have, and every month they're paying a certain amount to be in this membership program, and they get, you know, maybe access to one group coaching call or this community, some curriculum, all right? You got to have the technology on the back end for that, so that might be more of a complex option for you, but it is an option. Okay, we talked about workshops earlier on. That's a great way, again, where you can be making money straight from selling tickets to the workshop. And also, there in the workshop, if you have something that you can invite your people to go in deeper with you, go to the next level, you can be offering that up at the workshop. You can write a book. You can sell this book on Amazon. You can self-publish through Amazon's Create Space platform. That's what I did for my book, Get Gutsy. I didn't wait for a traditional publisher to anoint me on the head and say, okay, come with us. That will happen for me one day. I do desire to get traditionally published, and I feel that will be somewhere on my path. But for the first book, I just said, I'm going traditional publishing. I feel really good about that. I'm going self-publishing, sorry. And it's been amazing what has happened as a result. The people I've met, the connections, the feedback I've gotten from readers, it's been really extraordinary. Okay, so if you're a writer, if you want to be able to serve in that way, that is a fantastic way to present yourself and this wisdom that you have as a coach. You can also, as you start growing your list and your people really respect you and they trust your recommendations, you can become an affiliate for other people's programs, okay, or for their offerings, for their technology. And when you share that with your people, any of your people who buy and use your special affiliate link, you'll get money from those sales. You can run a mastermind. That's something that I've been doing in my business the past several years now. I've loved my masterminds. They're just wonderful women who come at a high level and they're ready to go deep and they're really ready to expand and grow. And my masterminds, we have like live retreats that are built into them, so they can just like, that's really where the magic occurs, like major shifts and ahas and discoveries. And then they go home and they apply and they implement. It's extraordinary. So masterminds can be fantastic way for you to help your people, and they can be amazing revenue drivers in your business. Okay, they're, again, not something you typically offer straight out of the gate, but something you grow into as you develop your chops, as you experience success, and you know that you can hold that space for your people who are coming in. All right, so that was a pretty comprehensive list. I hope you took a good amount of notes. Your head may be spinning at this point. I know I've given you a lot of information, a lot of ideas. I don't want you to be freaked out or say like, oh my gosh, this is too much. Like, what is that there's like a phrase that says, not that we want to eat an elephant, but it's kind of like a little saying that says, how do you eat an elephant? like bite by bite, bit by bit, piece by piece. So how are you going to create your business? Piece by piece. Piece by piece. How do you evolve into the coach that you were meant to be? Piece by piece, bit by bit, brick by brick, client by client, student by student, blog post by blog post, podcast by podcast, you know, all of it. All of it. This is about you saying yes to your calling. Now, I knew when I discovered the field of coaching so many years ago, it was back in 2008 when I left my corporate life. I mean, I really didn't know what I was going to do next. I was at a loss. It was a very confusing time for me. I felt quite like, what the heck just happened? Because I quit my job. I didn't have another job. I didn't really have a plan. My plan was take some time and figure this out, because this other way of working and being isn't working. And lo and behold, I discovered a woman who was a yoga teacher and a creativity coach. And I said, what is that? And then I researched coaching, and I'm like, this is it. This is a thing for me. And it's been a wild ride. I went through a coach training school. I got certified. I did that whole thing. And then from there, I realized, like, oh my gosh, a lot of coaches who go through classic coach training schools, they don't have the skills to then make it as an entrepreneur and a marketer, because you have to learn all of that stuff. And I don't believe it's either or. It's not like be this amazing marketer and you don't need to have all the coaching skills. Just run a great business and you'll get clients and you'll figure it out together. It's like, no, that's really not what coaching is. I mean, you can do that as a consultant, but if you're going to call yourself coach, do it with integrity. Do it with the spirit of what coaching is at the forefront for you. And that's essentially why I created Get Gutsy Coach Training School. Earlier this year, I had this idea for a number of years, because I started attracting clients to me who wanted to become coaches. They saw what I was doing. They're like, can I do this? And I would coach them individually on how to do this. Like, what do you do during sessions and how do you get the client in the door and all of it. And I started realizing, there has to be a better way. If I'm doing this like individually with people, there has to be a way I can do this for a group of people, show them these tools, teach them these skills, show them all the entrepreneur and marketing pieces that they need to know, and then guide them through the deep personal growth work that is so required. And that's what I created in Get Gutsy Coach Training School. So I'm going to invite you to check this out, okay? Check it out. It is an amazing experience. You can go to Get Gutsy, or actually we have a simple URL for you now, coachtrainingschool.com. It's coachtrainingschool.com. Super simple. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough for you right now, and then I will allow you to read through the entire page, because it's an important decision in your life. It's not just some little random course that you're going to sign up for and not do, and it's no big deal. This is something that literally will change your life. It'll change the course of the direction that it'll change your course forever. You will have new experiences coming into your fold, new people. The gals who are already in our fall class of students are extraordinary. And I know it's going to be, the ride of their lives and mine, because I'm always changed from the students who step forward. I will tell you that this is not a cookie cutter program. It's very deep. And I like to think of it as a boutique experience, okay? You're not going to get lost in the crowd. You're just not. I'm going to know you. I'm going to be supporting you. I'm going to be taking you under my wing for the ultimate in mentorship. If you've been following my work for some time, if you've liked what I've created and what I'm putting out into the world and how I'm serving and how I've designed things, then know that you're going to get really an insider's perspective on how I've done this and how you can do it your way. We are really going to work closely together to ensure you are poised for success. And that's what I want. I want to see you expand beyond where you think you can even go. And I'm going to be psyched when my students are even more successful than I am. That's what I want. Like, I'm here to be a teacher. I'm like, you know what? Go out and do it. Go out and do it. So right now, I want to do a quick screen share with you so I can point out some of the important elements, so you are in the loop about what we're doing here and how it works and our timing, okay? Because the class starts this Thursday, October 1st, okay? So your life can change starting then, and it's not too late to get on board. It's not too late. This is your chance to step into your highest calling as you share your coaching gifts with clients you adore. You're going to be working with clients while you're still in training. We're going to pair you up with a peer coach and a peer client if you desire. That is not required, but it is an option for you. And this is 100% online learning immersion. So you can train wherever you are in the world. All of our students in this next class, like, they literally are all over. They're all over. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And we do have some optional live in-person elements that you can take advantage of if you feel called. So I'm going to point out a few elements here, and then again, you can go to coachtrainingschool.com, check it out, apply if you feel called. Our curriculum is stellar. It is really stellar. I'm giving you everything that you need to know in beautiful bite-sized nuggets. So the first golden key, and there are 3 golden keys, and the training is 4 months. It goes over 4 months, okay? So this goes October through January. So I want you to imagine that, you know, it's beginning of 2016 and you are getting out there and you are serving in this coach capacity. And you're either doing it, you're layering it into your current work, or this is, you know, a completely new path for you, like it was for me. Like, I left that corporate life and I moved into this new terrain. I was still freelancing, as I said, for like probably about the first 18 months of my coaching journey, because I wanted to get that money in the door, and I didn't want to put all this pressure on coaching to immediately support me and my family. So golden key number 1 is the coach's path, your sacred calling and opportunity. So we're really looking at that personal growth path. We're looking at all the fears and doubts that you might have, looking at your gifts, understanding the difference between coaching and consulting and therapy and mentoring, looking at the rules that you live by, looking at visualization, how you can use that for yourself and for your clients, and looking at the foundation for your brand. Golden key number 2, we're going to spend the bulk of our training time together exploring the skills and tools that every transformational coach must master. Okay? So this is what separates the pro coaches from the amateurs, really. And there's a lot of people out there right now calling themselves coaches, and they've never studied the skills and tools, ever. That will catch up with them eventually. And with their clients who are already, I'm sure they've already had a fallout, and I don't wish that on people, but I see it, I've heard about it. It's just, you have to have this foundation, and that's why I created Coach Training School, so I could give it to you, all right? So we're gonna be really looking at how do you ask empowering questions of your clients, because guess what? It's not your job as their coach to have all of the answers. You're simply there to ask empowering questions so that they can find their own answers. You can certainly give your own insights and guidance and wisdom, because they will want that from you, but this is about asking empowering questions. You're gonna hone skills like acknowledging and validating and helping them move through energetic blocks and planting seeds and listening and many, many others. You're gonna learn how to steer clear of victim and vampire energy. That's huge. You do not want that in your coaching business. How do you handle nightmare clients? How do you leverage tools that are used in my book, Get Gutsy, for your peeps? Like vision boarding and values and knowing what your why is and developing your dream team, all of it. And how do you develop boundaries, policies, and procedures to protect you and your clients? Okay. Golden key number 3 is making a great living as a coach, marketer, and entrepreneur. And this is how you're getting your work out there. How you embrace your unique vibe, how to coach your first client with confidence and strength, telling your heroine's journey story. You're going to be doing that a lot. How do you announce your business to the world? How do you commit to a regular content creation schedule? How do you hold space between sessions? How do you lead powerful enrollment conversations? How do you onboard new clients? All of it. We're going to look at systems and technologies, the model that works best for you, retreats and workshops and VIP days and online courses, all that stuff that we talked about in this time together today. I'm going to be spending real solid time with you going through this and giving you resources and ideas and tips. And this is all delivered really beautifully. You get weekly training lessons over the course of 4 months. And we do have integration weeks built in there. So you're not going to get overwhelmed. Like every month you get 3 lessons and then there'll be a pause for one of those weeks. Okay. We will give you step-by-step worksheets so that not only are you hearing it by audio, but you have these worksheets with some of the concepts on there and action items so you can bring it to life. I don't want this to be simply theory for you. I want you to apply it. You're going to have live group Q&A calls and coaching demos throughout the program. You're going to get a bunch of work samples, resources, and tip sheets. Okay, and you can see the list of all of those on the site. You will have a private connection forum, and that's filled with our current students as well as our alums. So you can come there to ask your questions, get feedback, support, all of it. Just come to the forum. It'll be there for you. And you do have the opportunity to become a Get Gutsy certified coach. And the way you do that is to take a written test, an oral test, and to submit coaching hours, showing that you've got the practice. And I want to ensure that everyone who earns that Get Gutsy certified coach designation is, really ready to rock it as a coach. And when you do that, you'll get a badge for your website. You're going to become a part of my referral network, and you'll be considered for visibility opportunities within my community to hone your skills and to give you that confidence to get out there bigger with your message and with the unique offering that you bring into the world. Okay. Several bonuses you can take a look at. I have a lot of content and trainings that you'll be able to get your hands on through this brand new offering that I created called Get Gutsy University. You can see what those are right here on the site. You also get a ticket to my event, which I mentioned, Alchemy Live, coming up in a few weeks. It'd be amazing to have you here. We do have some spots left at that event. We'd love to meet you. It's the Berkshires during the fall, which is where I live in Massachusetts. Extraordinary. I mean, it's just a stellar environment for the changing leaves, that Christmas in the air. And you'll meet so many amazing people who not only might be going through coach training school, but who have been through other programs of mine, or simply just coming to Alchemy Live because they're ready for that kind of experience. They want to move to the next level in their mission-driven work. And you will get a spot if you want to come to our live coaching masterclass next year in 2016. And that's where we will bring the students together. You can fine-tune the tools that are available to you and for your clients, and you can develop closer relationships with the women who have gone through coach training school, and you can come here in the magical Berkshires. I love where I live, and I do the bulk of my in-person stuff here. I do it here. This is where I live. This is where my family lives. And people love coming here because it's simply beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. And when those of you who apply, you're in our first 10, you will get a private 60-minute message marketing and systems call with me, okay? So we can get on the phone. I will help you map out your message, that marketing approach that I suggest that you take based on your goals and your lifestyle and your strengths, and then some suggestions on systems to get you off the ground, okay? You can look through lots of our success stories there, lots of our Q&A. If you have questions about the course, about what this experience is all about, most of those questions are probably answered in our FAQs here. And I want you to understand that it is an application process, and it's very much spelled out here on the page. I like to make my program pages really clear so you know exactly how it works, so that when you're ready to make a decision, you can, in fact, make that decision. So you can simply press the Apply Now button. You'll submit a $500 deposit to move to that next level. You will fill out a questionnaire so I can get a better feel for you and why you want to be part of this experience. If you'd like to have a private phone call with me to answer questions that you might have that aren't already answered on this page, you just want to have that connection with me, I totally get it. We can certainly have that call. And you will know from my team whether you are accepted within 3 business days. And if you're not, your deposit will be fully refunded, okay? And then we move forward and we get going, and you start on this path to really share your gifts in a more structured, more beautiful, more authentic and confident way, okay, when you step into this role of coach. So the investment for this is beautiful. It is a beautiful investment, and I want to say that when you secure 2 to 4 paying clients to invest in a coaching package with you, that will pay for this training, okay? So I want you to think in that way, because that is how you grow into this entrepreneurship world, okay? You've got to be able to flex that entrepreneurship muscle, make investments, and understand how to get a return on that investment. So you'll see everything that the investment includes. We do offer a pay in full and a payment plan, and our payment plan is really generous for you all, because we're allowing you to pay over an entire year. So the payment plan is that $500 deposit plus 12 monthly payments of $424. Or if you'd like to pay in full, that is $4,997 for our pay in full. That is the best deal for the pay in full, $4,997. And again, we do have that payment option for you, okay? So that's how it lays out. Again, you will have so much access to me. This is a very intimate experience, okay? We are, in it together. It's like this sacred circle where we're bringing these amazing women. And like I said, the women who've stepped forward for our fall class, like, they're extraordinary. I can just feel it in my body. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. They have something so powerful, because I read all their applications, like, oh my gosh, these people are amazing. Like, every time it comes in, I am like brought to my knees. I have like tears in my eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, spirit, for bringing these women into my life. And as I'm saying this, like, my wind chimes are chiming. And so I'm hearing this like chime. It's like, oh, spirit is talking right now. I am a very spiritual woman. I bring spirit into every course that I offer, and especially this one, because we're going to be going really, really deep together. You really become like in my inside world, like in my beautiful inner circle. And it would be my honor and privilege and pleasure to guide you in Get Gutsy Coach Training School. So coachtrainingschool.com is where you can get all that info. You can dive in to everything that you need to know. Again, we kick off on October 1st. So you have not that much longer to submit your application. We are diving in, and we would love to have you with us, truly. So if you have any questions about what I shared, please get in touch with us. We have ways that you can do that. You can send us a note at support@jennyfennig.com or 1-877-529-2098. Okay, give us a call, send us an email. Like, anything that I talked about today related to, this particular workshop, anything related to the training, we're here for you. That's what we do. We would not be in business if we weren't here for you. Like, you're our people, so we want to help you. Whether it's being involved in Coach Training School, whether it's being a part of something else that we're putting out into the world, whether it's simply, being a part of our tribe and being really excited when my podcast launches, and in a few weeks' time, where the wheels are in motion for that. Like, there's just so much goodness that is happening and brewing right now, and none of it would have been possible. I'm just spraying some really good spray. I'm like, I need to clear the air here. It's called Be Stimulated Body Mist. Smells really good. It's got like peppermint in it. Yeah, eucalyptus, ginger, and rosemary. Okay, just spraying some of that. Smells really good. But all of like what I've created has been possible because it was through coaching. It was yoga and then coaching. That was the thing for me. And then I've gone down on this, marketing entrepreneurship road, and now I'm really moving into spiritual leadership and spiritual teachings. And so I'm bringing everything that I do has this like unique concoction, this unique blend woven into it. And my job for my next group of students in Get Gutsy Coach Training School is to help you uncover your unique blend. What is your concoction? Like, what is it? And how does it serve your people in a way that they need and in the way that only you have? mean, that's it. That's the magic of what we're doing here. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing in the world and the work that you will do in this world. Thank you for sharing this space with me, creating this sacred circle, whether you've been listening live or whether you're catching this on the replay. I appreciate you. I'm so happy that you're in my world, and it literally would be my distinct pleasure to be able to support you in Get Gutsy Coach Training School. It will be the start of something absolutely divine and beautiful, and I wish you so much love as you continue on this journey, continue touching those lives that you came here to touch, continue sharing your gifts with the world, and knowing that you literally can design your work and your life and your family and everything that goes into this beautiful stew. You can design it any which way you choose. Know that, trust that, walk in that faith. Keep me posted on everything that you're up to, and I look forward to watching you soar. This is Jenny Fenig signing off for CoachTrainingSchool.com. High five to you, big hugs, lots of love all around. I'll connect with you again very soon. Bye now. Bye. Adios.